The exterior of the base is guarded by 3 auto turrets hidden behind garage doors. All garage doors are controlled by heartbeat sensors. Entering the airlock is guarded by 2 shotgun traps and holds 2 large boxes for quick depositing. A double sheet metal door prevents raiders going deep. The isolated loot room is located beneath the airlock. In the event that raiders do enter your core, all of your main loot will be transferred into these 4 large boxes. Passing through 2 garage doors, we enter the bedroom of the base. The bedroom is guarded by an auto turret, contains a bed, a locker, 3 small boxes, and 2 large boxes. Hidden within the honeycomb is our second spare redundant battery. Jumping up into the roof, we have our fully fledged farm featuring 2 large planters. We also have panoramic views around the base in the event of an online raid. There's storage space for 4 large boxes, 4 small boxes, and includes a peek down into the airlock. Entering our work area, we have a computer station, a mixing table, furnaces hidden in the honeycomb, and a view into the airlock via the armoured window. Through 1 more garage door, we have space for 3 large boxes and 3 small boxes. Dropping down into the core, we have our first undrainable shotgun trap. Entering the core itself, we have a locker, tier 3 workbench, and our primary battery hidden in the honeycomb. An auto turret defends the core, and we also have access to our interior or refinery. Through 1 final garage door into the main loot room, containing 4 large boxes and 4 small boxes. Behind the armoured window, we have a drop box and a vending machine for our most valuable loot, with the TC being protected by the vending machine. Let's begin the build. Before you begin, make sure the footprint fits on the terrain you plan on building on. We begin the build with 3 triangle foundations, followed by a square foundation. Wrap all sides in walls, and place a double door frame, and place your wooden doors. For your TC compartment, it's important to place a half-height triangle frame. Leave this in twig for now. It will allow you to get your TC placement perfectly for when you place your vending machine down the line. When placing your TC, try and make it as far forward and to the left as you can. Place your 3 furnaces in this triangle foundation and 2 large boxes in the square foundation. If you place these perfectly now, you won't need to move them down the line. Place a small campfire by the door and place your sleeping bag in this compartment. Onto our upgrades prior to tier 1 placement, place 2 triangle foundations, a square foundation, and another double door frame. Seal in the roof above. Place your tier 1 workbench in this area, and 3 more furnaces in this triangle foundation. Replace all of your wooden doors with sheet metal counterparts. Move your sleeping bags. Now place a half-height shelf above the square foundation in your core. You can place a large box and a barbecue in this area. Again, if you get your placement perfectly, you won't need to move this down the line. Place a shotgun trap next to your tier 1 workbench and replace your sleeping bags. For our next expansion, we place 6 triangle foundations and wall them all in. You'll want to remove 2 of these foundations to place your oil refinery down the line. Place a half-height triangular frame and a triangle piece for your jump up. You now want to seal in the entire roof compartment with triangular floor pieces. Place 4 stone walls, seal in the top, and then place a double door frame with a sheet metal door. Upgrade your TC compartment to metal, including the foundation, and place a twig ceiling panel for a jump up. It's now time for our tier 2 upgrades. Place your tier 2 workbench, remove the sheet metal door, remove the furnaces. If If you're playing a longer wipe and you want to give your TC industrial access, place an industrial combiner here and a storage adapter above your TC. Connect the pipe now. When placing your vending machine, you want it as far into the door frame as you can make it, and then slide to the left. Remember to disable broadcasting. Place a wall next to the vending machine, squeeze into the corner, and place your drop box as high as you can. Place your storage adapters now. Replace these double sheet doors with garage doors. Your base is now an 8 rocket raid. Heading upstairs for further expansion, it's important to upgrade these 2 parts to metal. Place a triangle foundation behind your loot room and wall it in. You must upgrade your TC foundation to armor now, as you will not have access to it later. Replace 3 square foundations and 2 triangular foundations, all in as depicted in the video. Place 2 roof pieces on either side of the foundations. These will be your ramps up into your airlock. Be careful not to fall into the void beneath your airlock, or you'll spend the rest of your wipe questioning your life choices and wonder why you played this game in the first place. Surround your airlock using a combination of walls and door frames. Place a half-height triangular piece here. Place a double door frame and a sheet metal door. Place your 2 sheet doors on either side of the airlock. Surround your airlock with half-height walls. Seal in the top and place a triangular piece here. We'll now walk around the perimeter of the top floor and place our walls. Place a window frame here to give you a viewing access into the airlock. Place another window frame here in which your second battery will sit. Seal in the top, minus the area to the jump up into the farm and roof. You'll place a raised door frame in this section here. We'll place a second raised door frame in this compartment here, and place double sheet doors. Until the roof compartment is completed, this area here is susceptible to a soft side attack, so it should not be used to store any valuable loot. The shooting floor and farm is created using a combination of low walls and half walls. Place them accordingly. Once all walls have been placed, place triangular frames on either side, followed by 2 square frames in the centre. You will now be placing a total of 6 triangular roof pieces and 2 square roof pieces. Your roof is now completely sealed in. Inside the core, place 2 walls here and upgrade them to sheet metal, as you will not be able to access them later. Place your oil refinery. Upgrade the triangular frame to metal and place your water barrel in this area. Seal in with a window. We're now going to reconfigure our core. Remove your workbench, the shotgun trap, the furnaces and the sleeping bag. Place a large battery in this compartment. A window frame in front. Place an electrical branch with the branch output into the power in of the battery. Place a second electrical branch in your deep core. And connect the power input into the power output from your large battery. Place a locker in this triangle foundation here and seal in with a window. Place a horizontal embrasure in front of your locker and a window in front of your battery. Replace your tier 2 workbench and remember to place your sleeping bags. Let's head up top and start furnishing. Place a twig triangle piece here and your 3 furnaces. Seal in with a window. Place a half-height wall and a triangle piece in this compartment here. This is where your electric furnaces will sit. Place a large box and a small box. You can remove the twig. Place a twig square piece here. Place 2 large boxes and 2 small boxes. Doing a few more upgrades. We'll upgrade this piece to armoured and seal in. 2 garage doors, one to the right and one to the left to prevent splash damage. Place a locker in this compartment here with a window facing towards you. Make sure you place a horizontal embrasure. We now place 2 glass windows in the 2 frames. We want to give our bedroom compartment as much comfort as possible. Place your dead carcasses on the floor and the ceiling. Place a large box beneath the jump down and another large box immediately above it. Fill in the gap with a small box and 2 small boxes above the jump up to the farm. You can place your bed here now. If you're playing with a duo partner, place your second bed here. We'll place our first 2 electric furnaces as far forward as you can, as far to the right and then as far to the left. Place your 3 regular furnaces in this triangle compartment. Place a temporary twig ceiling panel here. Place your second 2 electric furnaces, again, as far to the right and as far to the left. Place window frames in front of your furnaces and in front of your electric furnaces. Place a mixing table in front of your electric furnaces and a small box underneath. For our undrainable shotgun trap, place it above the oil refinery as high as you can. Place a low wall facing towards you, followed by a stone triangular frame. We're now going to furnish our roof section. Above your airlock, place 2 large boxes with the locking section facing inwards. This will give your duo partner access to your code locks. Place a small box, followed by a low wall. Place a water sprinkler beneath a double square frame, followed by your 2 large planters. We'll want to place a large box and a small box next to your jump hub. And 3 large boxes and 3 small boxes near the airlock side of your base. At this stage, you do not want to be using these boxes for storage, as a cheeky naked can always jump up and loot from them. Moving on to the exterior of the base, we place our double door frames and a triangle piece above. We'll repeat this 3 times around the base. This is where our auto turrets will sit. We'll now build the platform that houses our electricity generation. Build 3 double frames up from your half wall, followed by 4 triangle pieces. Place your windmill and 2 large solar panels. Make sure you orient them correctly. If you plan on utilising industry and electrics to its maximum capacity, you'll need to place 4 more large solar panels. We'll now move around the outside of the base, placing twig platforms. This will allow you to place your metal barricades in the areas where it's visible from the outside. You can now move around and destroy all of your temporary twig platforms. If you plan on utilising your farm, we'll now place our 7 water catchers. Place 4 on the square piece here, followed by 1 on each of the exposed triangle pieces. If you're in a position for resources at this stage, place your 6 garage doors around the exterior of the base. Make sure you have the rollers on the outside to prevent splash damage. We're now going to circle the entirety of the outside of the base, upgrading to sheet metal as depicted in this video. final exterior upgrade of the base comes in the form of 2 square foundations, 2 roof pieces and 2 walls on either side of the base. We want to place 2 small boxes in the airlock here, triangle frame and a ladder hatch. It's important to upgrade this wall to armoured now, as you will not have access to it later. Place a half-height shelf, remove the half wall, and place out 4 large boxes. Couple the window frame facing towards you, and eventually this will house an armoured window. Now it's time for the internal upgrades. Move around the base and upgrade everything depicted in this video to sheet metal. If you cannot access the wall next to the TC compartment behind the locker, you'll need to remove the locker and replace. Place 2 electric furnaces. And finally, replace your tier 2 workbench with a tier 3. Place a small box underneath and a small box to the side. Now going to upgrade the walls of our core loot room into armoured, including the foundation. Upgrade the door frame to sheet metal, place a sheet metal window frame. Make sure you upgrade the ceiling panels to armoured as well. We can now reconfigure our loot room. Place a large box, followed by a small box, and a second small box where your campfire sat. We're able to place a repair bench up top with 2 small boxes on either side. We can now place our second large battery in this triangle compartment here. This large battery will control the utility on your base, including the industry, lights, etc. We can now move around the base for our final placements. Our final internal upgrade is placing the 2 armoured doors here. Your base is now a minimum of a 27 rocket raid. Finally, we add our exterior turrets. This now gives the base 360 degrees defensive position. To utilise all the features seen in this video, it's recommended you have at least 6 large solar panels and a windmill. Daisy chain everything together using 6 root combiners and feed it into a single electrical branch. You'll want to branch out 125 power. As the base features 2 large batteries, we'll now refer to them as our blue battery and our yellow battery, with our blue battery being our primary one that sits in the core of the base. Our blue battery feeds into an electrical branch with 98 power coming out, leaving a single watt to go into a blocker. Going into another electrical branch, we branch out 96 power, leaving a single watt to go into a separate blocker. The 96 power enters our XOR switch. Our yellow battery feeds into a memory cell. Out of the inverted output, we enter an electrical branch where we branch out 34 power. The remaining power is diverted into one of the blocker's inputs. From the same blocker's output, we run a cable into the set button on the memory cell. From the output from the memory cell, we enter that into the input of another blocker, and from that blocker, we enter it into the XOR switch. From the XOR switch, we enter an electrical branch, where we'll branch out 55 power for our turrets. Branch into a smart switch, and then daisy chain 4 electrical branches, with each one outputting 10 watts. Run a cable from each electrical branch into a corresponding turret. Our next circuit is for in the event of a raid. This conveyor will transfer your most valuable loot from your core into your isolated loot room. Branch out 3 watts into the conveyor with the electrical pass-through into the heartbeat sensor. From there, the power out goes into the turn on button on the conveyor. The remaining power is then diverted to another electrical branch that powers our door controllers. Branch out 19 power into a splitter, which will split it 3 ways into 6 watts each. From the outputs of the splitter, enter another electrical branch and branch out 3 power, leaving 2. With the 3 watts of power, enter the input of the timer. From the output of the timer, daisy chain that to your 2 door controllers. From the 2 power from the electrical branch, enter the heartbeat sensor, and from the heartbeat sensor into the toggle of your timer. Set the duration for however long you want your garage doors to remain open in the event that an enemy approaches the base. Repeat this process 3 times for each of the auto turrets. All remaining power now enters a final electrical branch, where we'll branch out 8 power. Daisy chain these into 7 conveyors, into finally your industrial crafter. Final 6 watts enter a timer into an electrical branch where it's split into 2 lots of 2, each powering an igniter. Eventually we'll connect a cable from the filter pass output from a conveyor into the toggle input on the timer. Set your timer for as short as possible, currently 1/4 of a second. Our yellow battery's primary purpose is to power the utility in the base. However, it also serves as a backup to the blue battery in the event it gets destroyed in a raid. Our inverted output powers our 6 electric furnaces, lighting and farm. However, in the event that we do lose our blue battery, all power is diverted to the security measures within the base. Our utility will cease to function. If in the event that you do need to replace your blue battery, simply reconnect it to your original electrical branch and put a single pulse into your reset button on your memory cell. From the inverted output of the memory cell, we branch out 34 power and lead over to our utility area where we enter another electrical branch. Branch out 11 power, which will head towards our 6 industrial lights, pump, and our overhanging light for our farm. The remaining power from our electrical branch will enter the input of a memory cell, with the inverted output entering another electrical branch. We split the power into 2 lots of 10, with each lot of 10 entering a splitter, which will subsequently split it into 3 lots of 3, giving us enough power for 6 electric furnaces. Eventually, from an industrial conveyor, we'll run 2 cables into the reset and the set button on the memory cell. What this circuit does is allow for the furnaces to automatically turn on when ore is passed into them and automatically turn off when the ore has run out. I will simulate this using a button. You do not need this button as part of your circuit. Our primary industrial circuit is that to smelt all of your various ores into sulfur and metal frags without wasting wood. Pipework connects our wood box into an industrial conveyor, then through into an industrial combiner into our daisy-chained furnaces. Sulfur comes from our ore box into an industrial conveyor and follows the same route as our wood. Finally, our metal ore enters another industrial conveyor into our daisy-chained electric furnaces, and then finally into our box that holds the metal fragments. All of our wood can be left in our wood box without the risk of it being burnt unnecessarily. When ore is detected in our ore box, it will turn on the corresponding furnace and transfer all of its smelted components into the boxes on the far right. You are free to choose whichever boxes within your base you would like this process to work from. When ore is no longer detected in the ore box, the furnaces will shut off automatically. When sulfur ore is detected in our ore box, it kicks in the industrial conveyor for the wood box, and it passes equal quantities into our furnaces, which automatically switch on. Both smelted sulfur and charcoal end up in the box on the far right. When the ore box no longer detects sulfur ore, it turns off the industrial conveyor for the wood, burns off the remaining sulfur ore in the furnaces, which then shuts them off. We set our 3 industrial conveyors to only pass through a maximum of 5 of each of the various ores and wood. From our metal ore conveyor, a cable from the filter file runs into the set button of our memory cell. A cable from our filter pass from the conveyor enters our reset button on the memory cell, which subsequently powers our electric furnaces. We run a cable from our filter pass output on our sulfur conveyor to the power on our wood conveyor. We also run a cable from our filter fail output from our sulfur conveyor to our power off button on our wood conveyor. Finally, a cable is run from our filter pass output on our wood conveyor into the toggle switch on our timer that controls our igniters. Our next industrial circuit is designed to transfer our most valuable loot from our core into our isolated loot room beneath the airlock of the base. We are able to daisy chain our various boxes, drop boxes and vending machines into a conveyor with no filters. From the conveyor, we run pipework to the boxes at the front of the base. As mentioned in the previous part of this video, power is daisy chained from the industrial conveyor into the heartbeat sensor and then passed back to the industrial conveyor onto the power on switch. We will now demonstrate this circuit. We now make the heartbeat sensor think that I'm a raider. The industrial conveyor gets powered on, and all of your loot begins to transfer. Our final circuit is a simple one. It allows for auto-crafting of various objects within the base via an industrial crafter. I use this industrial circuit almost exclusively for medical syringes, as I find it something that's rather time-consuming when crafting in the base. Due to the excess noise that the industrial crafter makes, I generally like to turn it on and off depending on how low my meds are. Finally, our watering system for our fully fledged farm in the roof. Power is entered into a timer, which is then daisy-chained from a hanging light into a fluid pump and switch. This switch should be left in the on position. Using the hosepipe tool, we daisy-chain all of our water catchers from the highest elevation one to the lowest, until finally we enter our water barrel. From the water barrel, we pass through our fluid switch and then finally into the sprinkler. Enter your anticipated growth time for your chosen crop and then simply hit the activate button on the timer. The planter will then fill with water for this time and also power the light above.